The UFC has just come off a very successful fight night over in Shanghai, China, and they're looking to do the same again with an even better looking card, with the Frenchmen taking on the Fighting Nerds. We have UFC Fight Night Imavov vs Borralho taking place at the Accor Arena in Paris, France, and we don't only have that good talent up the top, we have good talent coming from the regional scenes all throughout this card. We're starting off with Axel Sola, who's the Aries FC 155-pound champion. Then we've got KSW's 145-pound champion Robert Ruchala, and then we've got Losene Keita, the double champion from Oktagon MMA, as well as former PFL heavyweight champion Ante Delija. So from top to bottom, we've got some pretty good matchups with all these fighters, and I'm going to be predicting and breaking down all of the best fights on this card, as well as giving out all of my fight card awards. So without further ado, let's get into the first fight of Rhys McKee versus Axel Sola. Now, this is a good fight to kick off this card because Rhys McKee on one side, he has a 100% finish rate. He's gone from being in the UFC once to then being cut because he fought guys like Khamzat Chimaev and just didn't stand a chance. But he's gone into Cage Warriors after that, gone on a 3-fight KO streak, won the belt over there, and has been re-signed to the UFC. And he's taken out Brendson after knocking him down 4 times in that fight and then took him out. He's a big KO threat, and this is at welterweight because when we look at Axel Sola, I emphasize that because he is the lightweight Aries champion. Now, he is undefeated. He's a big French prospect. He is someone that the crowd is going to be getting behind immensely, and it's going to be putting pressure on his shoulders, but it's definitely deserved in terms of having that crowd around him because he is someone that is undefeated. He is a lightweight champion and he has defended his belt. But has that been clean for him? No, it hasn't. And when I say the lightweight champion, obviously this is at welterweight. This is a very big difference for him, especially when we look at the frame of the opposition he's fighting. Rhys McKee is not a small welterweight at all, and Axel Sola is a small welterweight. He's got the frame of a lightweight, and also with that reach too. 7-inch reach disadvantage here for Axel Sola. Now, Axel, when he is pressuring forward, he is good. He looks good. He's got really nice long combinations on the feet, and his grappling is very good. His grappling, I will not lie, has saved his ass on multiple occasions. He, in like 3 of his fights that I have seen, has been knocked down in the first round, but you got to give him the credit where credit is due. He's gritty as hell. He is so gritty. He gets knocked down. He manages to get into these scrambling-based situations and get himself back into the fight by just avoiding all the big shots and then just riding through the fight with his cardio and getting that striking going again. But when it comes to him on the back foot, he gets tagged. He just doesn't move his head off the center line effectively. He looks like he freezes, and he's frozen time and time and time again, but the people just haven't been able to take him out. Now, if you're going against a Rhys McKee, who is so much longer, has a 100% finish rate, has improved that striking to the point where he's knocked his last opponent down 4 times and then taken him out, I don't really super understand why he is an underdog at this point, especially a plus 135. It's not even like it's closer to a pick'em. Sola is more of a moderate favorite here, and I just can't be taking that with the tape that I have seen on Axel Sola here. Like, he is undefeated, but his O has been almost taken like half the times he has fought. So that's where I've honestly got to be taking Rhys McKee here. I'm taking him by a KO TKO. He's looked so much better on the front foot. And when it comes to that saving grace for Axel Sola, it's the grappling. When it comes to him getting back on the feet, or at least just riding through 50-50 positions or trying to hunt a submission, Rhys McKee is 3-0 with submissions. He is good on the ground predominantly anyway, and him being able to outmuscle McKee, I just don't see that happening. Unless we see Axel Sola with a fantastic weight translation, then he can win this fight. Now, granted, Axel Sola has fought at welterweight before, and he has fought at middleweight as well. So I do think that he can actually fight at welterweight fairly well. I just think in terms of the opponent he has got, I don't see this being a great matchup for him. Rhys McKee has too much power. He's too unforgiving with his striking when he is on the front foot. I think he's going to be able to take Axel Sola out in the first 2 rounds. And with those odds, I'm giving Rhys McKee my upset of the night. He's got a 7-inch reach advantage. He's got the confidence there as well. Sola's got the pressure in front of his home crowd. And McKee does not want to get cut again. He's arguably going to be more hungry, just as hungry as Sola in this fight. and it's going to pay off. Now, moving up the card, we've got Trey Waters versus Sam Patterson. Now, Sam Patterson, in his last fight, his work in Thailand paid off big against Danny Barlow, who was undefeated, looked really, really good all the way up to that Sam Patterson fight, and Sam just shut him down. Looked really clean on the feet, was really, really using nice hooks, timing with his striking as well. And honestly, Trey Waters, the guy is durable. He's very big as well. Don't get me wrong. Honestly, I just can't see him winning this fight over Sam Patterson and what Sam Patterson has shown. Unless Trey is able to take Sam Patterson out in an early exchange, I don't see him beating Sam. Sam is just a better mixed martial artist. He's got the grappling advantage there without a doubt. That's his pedigree first and foremost, without that work in Thailand with his striking anyway. So Sam Patterson, honestly, I think he's going to get more damage off in the exchanges here. I think he is going to be able to hurt Waters to the point where he drops him, and then I think he actually hunts a submission-based win here, because Trey Waters, with the length that he has and also the stiff straight shots he has, he can sit Sam Patterson down, but is Trey Waters going to want to actually go to the ground? If it's anywhere past like the second round, I just don't see that happening. I don't see Trey Waters wanting to follow down with ground and pound, because Sam Patterson is good off his back. He has got 7 submissions to his name, and honestly, if one of these guys are getting knocked down, I think Trey Waters is going to get knocked down, because Sam is faster than him. He just needs to get past the jab, drop him down, and I think once he does drop Trey Waters in the second or the third round, he's going to drop down, and then I think he's going to hunt a rear naked choke, and I think he's going to get the submission win in this matchup. And honestly, either one could get taken out on the feet because of their heights and just that weird kind of size they are at welterweight. They're both massive for welterweight, so we could see some awkward striking exchanges and one of them just dropping like a sack of shit. But I got Sam Patterson here. I just think he's looked better recently. His striking has really flourished, and his grappling is just better. He's a better mixed martial artist, and I'm going to take him. Now, moving up to William Gomis versus the KSW's 145-pound champion, Robert Ruchala. Now, Robert Ruchala, probably don't know much about him. He is a good grappler, pretty good grappler. He's very good with his inside and outside trips. Just good at level changing in general, just making sure he gets the timing on them, especially when his opposition is just really pressuring forward. He times his level changes well, gets him to the ground, and usually hunts an armbar finish. His armbars are pretty deadly. But aside from that, I'd say his jab's pretty good. He's got a pretty quick jab. Yeah, otherwise, honestly, he's decent. Don't get me wrong, he's decent. Very, very big Polish backing as well. But William Gomis is just a bad stylistic matchup for him here. I mean, William Gomis is a very, very good fighter, very, very good kickboxer, very clean with his striking, great distance management, and he's faster than Ruchala on the feet, has more power than him on the feet, and he's fought better opposition. He's UFC proven without a doubt. I just think Ruchala is really going to struggle to get this fight to the ground where he has to get it. And if he just doesn't, then William Gomis is just going to be teeing off. And I think that's where Gomis is going to get a 30-27 decision here. It's kind of lackluster for Ruchala coming in, but I honestly think he is a good fighter, especially when it comes to strikers that are more aggressive. Strikers that are more aggressive is the stylistic matchup that he wants. The problem is William Gomis is so intelligent with his striking. His fight IQ is very good. He doesn't just go into the fire. He really calculates his shots. I think with the kickboxing pedigree he has, I think he's just going to be outmatching Ruchala here, possibly to the point where he could get a KO TKO finish in the second or the third round. But Ruchala definitely is durable. He's hard to get out of there, and he's very scrappy. I can imagine if Gomis drops him, Ruchala on the ground is going to be tricky to just pinpoint him on the ground and just take him out of the ground and pound because of his grappling capabilities. But aside from that, I think Gomis, regardless, I think he's going to be getting a 30-27 here. He's going to beat him to the punch. He's just a better kickboxer, rips his body, takes out the legs. Yeah, pretty easy day at the office for William Gomis here. Now, moving up the card to an absolute freak of a fight, we have Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Andreas Gustafsson. Now, this is at welterweight, and honestly, I think the winner of this is getting a top 15 crack, because this is a very high-level, high-paced fight, and to the point where I'm giving this my Fight of the Night award here. I'm honestly extremely impressed, firstly, with Gustafsson's performance over Khaos Williams. Did not step off the brakes the entire time, absolutely mauled Khaos Williams. And Khaos Williams is a guy that has a lot of KO power on his side, and he just didn't let him breathe. Like, Andreas Gustafsson has a ridiculous gas tank. He is a grinder-based style fighter to a T, and very, very big for welterweight as well. Just built like a brick shithouse. But the problem that I have with a fighter like Gustafsson is the defensive counters in an opposition, and that's Rinat Fakhretdinov. Rinat Fakhretdinov is UFC proven. He's fought a lot of good fighters. You know, he's never been taken out before, but Rinat is a guy that's on an insane win streak. He's fought a lot of good names, and he's a guy that has great defensive wrestling. Like, he's very good in the clinch. He's good at boxing range. He's good at not getting taken down, and he's good with a submission-based game too. He's got a nasty guillotine on him. We saw that against Kevin Lee. I mean, Rinat is not a guy that is going to mess around, and I think when it comes to that striking range, he's just a bit better when it comes to the boxing range. I think Andreas Gustafsson, he's the guy that's just got to make sure that he can just grind out Rinat, but Rinat is a guy that doesn't really have too much of a cardio issue unless Rinat's really pressing his own output. But I think what Fakhretdinov is going to do is he's going to make sure that he's not getting taken down. He's going to utilize more clinch-based boxing and boxing-based exchanges. He's going to use more strikes in those. And then I think he's going to try and utilize some more wrestling of his own to get Gustafsson to the ground. Because Gustafsson is good on the ground, but not so much when he is on his back. But I just think Rinat ultimately has the tools here to get this done. But I do think it should be a pick'em here because Gustafsson's pressure and pace is so nasty. Like, I do think Rinat's going to win, but by a split decision here, as you can see. I just think overall the kickboxing pedigree of Fakhretdinov at all ranges, realistically, with the striking is just a little bit better, and he's got the takedown defense most importantly and is strong. That's the key here. He has those capabilities to really just mess with Gustafsson's physical style. And I think it's going to be a split decision here just because of Gustafsson's pure control and what he's going to get in the clinch. It's just going to be a very ugly fight, but it's going to be fight of the night because it's just going to be high impact the whole entire time, just the way both of these guys fight. Unless Rinat Fakhretdinov is jumping for a guillotine or is taking him out early, I think this is going to be a pretty wild fight from start to finish. Moving up the card to Marcin Tybura versus Ante Delija. So Ante Delija coming in on his debut into the top 10 straight away. Now, is that warranted? I mean, wouldn't really care because heavyweight sucks. So yeah, we can warrant it. And plus, these guys actually have history. I don't know if you guys know about this, but Ante Delija and Marcin Tybura fought before 10 years ago in 2015. Their fight lasted a couple minutes until Ante Delija snapped his leg. Snapped it clean. So this is a bit of a nightmare matchup in terms of trauma for him. So it's going to be interesting to see how he comes out. But I think it's going to work for him because he's looked great since he had that leg snap. He won most of his fights. I think he only lost like 2 and won like 8 of them since then. And he's honestly got some good boxing on him. He's got some good boxing, heavy shots, really nice body shots, good grinder-based style. And he does have a ground game, but I will say, statistics aren't the greatest in terms of representation. 7-0 with submissions. Most of those came at the very start of his career. Would not be riding on the grappling there. I think Tybura is a better grappler than him, and if it goes to the ground, I would be preferring Tybura overall, unless Delija is on top, because Delija is nasty with his ground and pound, and he does have good transitions too. And that's what he showed against Renan Ferreira, the guy that fought bloody Francis Ngannou. He destroyed him just as quick as Francis Ngannou did. So Ante Delija, he is legit. He is a guy that definitely can fight in the heavyweight top 15 without a doubt. Really nice boxing on his side. I mean, he's got Mirko Krokop in his corner. So he's got a strong backing from his team. And honestly, I think with Delija, he is someone that's going to be able to pressure effectively to the point where I think Tybura is going to be struggling a bit when it comes to the speed in close. When it comes to the strike speed in the clinch range to the boxing range, I think Delija has a sizable advantage here. Now, Tybura, he's very good at like his 1-2 kicks. Like he's good with his body kicks, good actually with head kicks too, especially when he showed in that last fight against McParkin, which I think he lost. But regardless, Delija, I think if he's making sure that he's staying in that that boxing range and making sure that he's making it a bit more of a dirty fight, which I honestly think he can do. He's a very, very pressure-heavy fighter. I think he's going to get the KO finish here. I think he's going to be able to take Tybura out. Tybura, if he can utilize that wrestling and get this fight to the ground and get on top, I think Delija is definitely going to struggle. I could see Tybura actually getting a submission win here, but it's definitely a very hard pick. I think if it's an underdog for Delija, I think it's pretty decent money. I just think he's got the better striking at that boxing range, and I think he's going to be able to take Tybura out, especially with that chip on his shoulder from getting his leg fucking snapped when he fought him. So I definitely see that one coming through for Delija, and I think he's going to be one of the only ones that's going to be successful coming from an organization as a former champion or a champion. So yeah, Ante Delija taking this one in the first or the second round by KO TKO. Moving up the card to Oumar C versus Brendson Ribeiro. Now, the odds are pretty split here. Oumar C is a sizable favorite. Do I agree with that? Not really. I think Alonzo Menafield did expose him a bit in their fight. Oumar C just doesn't really like getting into firefights because he has the physical advantages to just be safe. I mean, he's got an 83-inch reach, and he has got the grappling there as well to really just out-transition his opponents. And within this fight, I can kind of understand why he would do it, because Ribeiro does have a lot of finishing threats there. But I'm going to say that Oumar C is going to take a decision here, and I think it's going to be a pretty boring decision. I think Oumar C is just going to outpoint Ribeiro on the feet, skating around the outside, because Brendson Ribeiro, he does literally live in the firefights, and Oumar C, he just is a bit scared of them. It does seem like he doesn't want to be getting into those positions where he's like, oh shit, I could just get blasted with a hook here. But the thing he needs to understand, especially when it comes to Brendson Ribeiro, is Brendson Ribeiro is something I can never get over, is how dog shit his striking is. It sucks. Like, he's got the KO power, but he can't throw a 3 or a 4 to save his fucking life. Like, he only throws 1 and 2 shots. You look at his fight against Zhang Mingyang, the whole reason why Zhang won against Ribeiro is because Zhang could throw a hook. Ribeiro can't throw a hook. So Oumar C, as long as he's making sure that he can actually get inside and then take him down, I think that he can win this fight. I mean, as long as he's not getting into those firefights, which is going to make a boring fight anyway. But I just think he can trust more in his actual striking on that front foot and take Ribeiro out himself, because he's got KO power, he's got the reach advantage, he's more technical on the feet. And when it comes to the grappling, I will say Ribeiro is actually good, but Oumar C is just a good grappler. He is very, very good at with his wrestling, very good at his transitions to the back. Honestly, Oumar C would probably just submit Ribeiro, to be honest. So I don't think there's much of an out for Ribeiro to win here unless he just manages to get a good shot off. But I think that's where Oumar C, even though Brendson Ribeiro's got KO power, I think he needs to take this point where he's in Paris and go from that boring-ass fight against Alonzo Menafield to go into this one, not be gun-shy, and take Brendson Ribeiro out. Because even though he's in Paris and he's got fans, it's not going to be winning him any more fans. But I'm going to take him by a pretty lackluster decision here. Now, moving on to a more exciting matchup, we got Patricio Pitbull versus Losene Keita. Now, this is a good fight. Very good matchmaking from the UFC. Now, does Keita deserve to have a top 15 fight at featherweight in his debut? As the Oktagon MMA double champion, I think it's kind of warranted, especially with that style. Dana White was licking his lips signing this guy because Losene Keita is a very entertaining fighter. Very, very pressure heavy, got very dangerous striking. He's got 10 KOs to his name. Really good boxing as well, and is dangerous when he's pressuring his opponent against the cage, just suffocating them with the strikes in close. He's got really nice straight right hand, really nice lead left to the body like Aaron Pico style. Keita is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And going against Patricio Pitbull, I think this is probably the most entertaining matchup we could have got for him as a debut. Because Pitbull, as we know, he's a smaller guy, but he's got power in his hands. He's got finishing potential on the ground as well. And that's where Pitbull, when it comes to his ground game, is going to be more so dangerous. Because Keita, as you can see statistically, not the greatest when it comes to submission-based offense. 0-0, he really just likes his game on the feet. Now, when it comes to his ground game, He is strong, so he's good at getting back up to his feet where he does his work, but going against a guy like Pitbull, who is better transitionally overall, and Keita just hasn't fought a guy like Pitbull before, especially when it comes to the grappling front. So Keita, I think, will struggle if it comes down to the ground, if it gets there. Now, if it stays on the feet, though, Pitbull has to be smart in this matchup, smarter than he's really ever been in any of these other matchups, because Pitbull has really good counter-striking. Now, Pitbull has good counter-striking, good timing on his shots, and Keita, he is a guy that has good fadeaway strikes. So when the opponent is using a lot of their momentum to pressure him backwards, Losene Keita just flips that momentum on them. So he will avoid their strikes and pressure them backwards straight away. Very, very good at doing that. Now, Pitbull isn't someone that is really pressure heavy and gets into those really big flurries. He's not a guy that does that. He's not like a Michael Chandler that does that, because Michael Chandler found out the hard way when he did it against Pitbull, because Pitbull is more so of a low output counter striker, and that's really good in this matchup, to be honest. Keita, being so aggressive on the front foot, he can definitely take Pitbull out, but in terms of timing with counter striking, and especially in combination with the level of opposition that Pitbull has fought, in comparison to Keita, I think Pitbull has the timing advantage over Keita here, to be honest. He might not be as fast as Keita, but I think Pitbull's going to be more accurate on the feet here, to be honest. Keita's not the most accurate on the feet. He's very pressure heavy, but he does miss shots, especially when the opposition is circling to the outside and is landing shots against him as well. Keita is wild. He is wild, but I do think that if he is not getting Pitbull out of there early, I think that Keita is going to struggle to really put him away and find a way to actually just win against Pitbull. I think Pitbull's counter-striking and his overall grappling is going to be the difference here. I think he's going to be able to draw out a decision win. I think Pitbull is going to be more so safe in this matchup. I think he's going to be very defensive, not allow Losene Keita to just barrage him and take him out instantly. Keita can do it, but I think that Patricio Pitbull is just going to be able to use his fight IQ and that experience overall in this matchup to get this one done. Now, if Losene Keita is fighting someone more so aggressive and is more so hungry on the feet, Keita can definitely win that matchup. That's where he shines. But Pitbull is more defensive and has a better grappling game. Not the easiest matchup for Keita to take in this one, but very, very entertaining fight. I'm keen for this one. Now, moving up to another great matchup, we have Fares Ziam versus Caio Fernandez. This is great from the matchmakers. I don't like it too much personally, because I like both of these fighters a lot. I really like Caio Fernandez because he's been counted out in a lot of his fights, and especially against Guram Kutateladze as being a 3-1 underdog and then knocking him down twice and almost taking him out. Caio Fernandez is a damn dangerous fighter, and Fares Ziam is quite a favorite in this matchup, but I will say that that's probably something I can get behind, to be honest, because even though Caio Fernandez is very, very dangerous on the feet, mixes up his striking combinations extremely well, uses really dangerous kicks to the body and the head, and his timing's just fantastic, but Ziam is more proven against tougher opposition. He's on a 5-fight win streak at the moment, fighting in France, and he's only getting better in terms of an MMA dimensional game. And I say that because Ziam is just going to be one step ahead when it comes to the grappling, and that's where I've got to take a decision win for him here. Caio Fernandez is good on the ground, but he's not better than Ziam, and Ziam oh my goodness, just the way he has improved from fight to fight is extremely impressive. The way he was able to destroy Matt Frivola and use that grappling against Mike Davis as well. Mike Davis is a good fighter. Ziam is just looking like he's shining into a top 15 shot, which I think if one of these guys especially is finishing the other, they seriously should be getting a top 15 shot, especially Ziam. After the amount of fights that he's had in the win streak that he's on, it's kind of bloody hard to argue. And when he's getting finishes like he has against Matt Frivola, he honestly is legit. He is a legit fighter. He's got the reach advantage here. Now, I think if it does stay on the feet, I think Caio Fernandez, he's a bit more offensively sound in terms of mixing combinations to finish a fight. So that's where I think Ziam could run into a bit of trouble early in this matchup. But I think from there, I think Ziam is really going to go on the just offensive wrestling game. I think he's going to be able to take Fernandez down, out-transition him effectively as well. Now, this could all be thrown out the window because remember, Caio Fernandes, he is Nova União's best fighter. And from Nova União, you had guys like Renan Barão and you had guys like Jose Aldo, of course, who had fantastic takedown defense. And if Caio Fernandes is adopting that through those coaches, and he stays on the feet, Fernandes could definitely win this fight. But with Ziam and how much he's been improving, I think that he can take this fight. I'm going to take it 29-28. Caio gets the first, Ziam gets the second and third. Very entertaining matchup. I'm very keen for it. Moving up the card, we got Modestas Bukauskas versus Paul Craig. Now, Paul Craig, he's moved back up from middleweight to light heavyweight. Do I think that's a good option? Honestly, I just don't think it matters. I think Paul Craig, he's gotten too old. He's taken too much damage. He just doesn't have the striking pedigree, especially against Bukauskas. Bukauskas is like on a 4-fight win streak at the moment. He last lost to like Vitor Petrino ages ago. He's looked great since, to be honest. His grappling has improved. He's got the KO power there. He's quicker than Paul Craig. I think he's going to be getting the KO TKO win here pretty simply in the first round. I think he's going to take him out. I think I'm giving him my finish of the night award here, to be honest. Bukauskas has got a longer reach. He is faster. He's got momentum. Paul Craig took a lot of damage down at middleweight when he fought guys like bloody Caio Borralho especially. Damn. Got destroyed. We'll get into him in a bit. But yeah, finish of the night for Modestas Bukauskas. I think this is my safest pick of the night. Unless, as we know, in true Paul Craig fashion, if he takes Bukauskas down or pulls guard and Bukauskas is stupid enough to go down there, I hope Paul Craig wins. But aside from that, using a brain, Bukauskas is going to take this one in the first round. KO, 1-2 down the pipe, takes him out against the cage. Now, moving up to Mason Jones versus Balaji Oki. Now, this is a fight that I didn't see would get booked. I kind of was surprised by this one, but I actually think it's a good matchup and can see why it's so high up the card. But when we look at Balaji Oki, I do think that he has been discredited a bit. He's almost a 3-1 dog here, and I do think that's heavily down to his Chris Duncan loss, where he got guillotine finished, and he was supposed to be this big rising prospect, and he got taken out. But dude, Chris Duncan's damn good. Like, that guy is looking fantastic. Duncan, it's just a matter of time before that guy makes it into the lightweight top 15. Definitely Scotland's best hope, not Paul Craig anymore, unfortunately. But with that loss aside, I think Balaji Oki is actually pretty decent. He's quite a good point style fighter. Very, very fast, efficient jab. Kind of similar to Sean Strickland in that way. Like, he's just good at just poking out the jab. Pretty good defensively, is durable as well. And is quite hard to hit, I will say. And he does have some form of a takedown offensive game. I mean, we kind of saw that, and then he got submitted by Duncan. But when we look at Mason Jones on the other side, Mason Jones, I mean, he just fought Jeremy Stephens coming back into the UFC, showed out incredibly well, won that fight fantastically well. I mean, credit to Jeremy Stephens, he held in there and he's got a chin of fucking steel. But Mason Jones, a lot of impact on this dude's shots. Like, very, very dangerous. Mixes up his shots extremely well. Is just better at just fighting more gritty, dirty fights than Oki is. And I think the biggest thing for Mason Jones here and why he is a favorite is the fact that he has a wrestling game within there as well. He's super durable. He's got the wrestling. He does have a grappling game as well. He does have good chokes. And he has got some pretty dangerous striking. He's got power in his hands. He's 7-0 with KOs. He's never been taken out himself. I have to give him my fighter to watch award here. He's just really got a lot of things going for him. And at 30 years old and being so hungry coming back into the UFC, I think he can make some waves for Wales in lightweight, to be honest. And I do have him taking a decision win here. Could get a late finish, to be honest, if he really just starts crowding Oki and just backs him up against the cage. But Oki is very good at distance management, utilizing the jab, just keeping along the outside. But I think Jones is going to force a dirty fight. And if he's forcing a dirty fight, he's going to have the advantage over Oki in this matchup. And even though Oki's durable, I do think Mason Jones could potentially finish him if he gets off the mark quick towards the end of the fight. But I'm going to take Jones by a pretty clear 30-27 decision in this one. Moving on to our co-main event, we have Benoit Saint-Denis versus Mauricio Ruffy. Take my money. I am very keen for this for obvious reasons that you guys would know about. I mean, we're finally into some fighters that, you know, any casual will know about. And Benoit Saint-Denis, last time he fought in France, didn't go his way. Got absolutely pieced up by another Brazilian in Renato Moicano. Now, I will say it's a little bit better for him in this matchup because Moicano is a southpaw. Benoit Saint-Denis does not do well against southpaws, beating him to the punch with the jab. jabs. And Mauricio Ruffy, though, on the other side, the dude's from the Matrix, man. He can fight out of southpaw if he needs to, and I will not be surprised if he does so in this matchup. He's a natural orthodox-based fighter, but he's just that skilled. Like, honestly, he is so dangerous. And when it comes to the grappling threat of Benoit Saint-Denis, that's something that Ruffy has to look out for. I mean, Saint-Denis, when he gets that grappling going, he is dangerous. He does have 10 submissions to his name, and is very, very good transitionally on the ground. And from what we've seen, he is better than Ruffy on the ground. But can he get Ruffy there? It's an unknown. People haven't been able to last long enough with Ruffy. So Ruffy's literally knocked out almost every single one of his opponents. So it's very tricky to say, but it's just clear to me. It's just so clear with how this is going to go, because Benoit Saint-Denis, he is a good fighter. Don't get me wrong, but his strike defense sucks. It just is not good, especially at boxing range. He doesn't have good strike defense. He gets in firefights. He relies on his chin too much. Now, granted, he didn't get knocked out by Renato Moicano, but he got chinned badly against Dustin Poirier. That's cracked it to an extent where Ruffy is going to be able to break through it. And with him being able to break through it, I mean, I've got to take Ruffy by a KO TKO win here. He's faster on the feet, can fight at better ranges anyway. He's better at his kickboxing range than Saint-Denis is. Granted, Saint-Denis does have a head kick out of hell. We saw that against Matt Frivola. But I think with Mauricio Ruffy, the guy's just too quick in the boxing-based exchanges and exploiting the strike defense of Benoit Saint-Denis. I think that it's just a matter of time before he gets the KO TKO finish here. I'm going to take him getting that probably in the second round. I reckon start of the second round. I've got to give Mauricio Ruffy my Performance of the Night award here. I just think that this is where he's going to showcase a solidified performance to get him into the top 15 now and to not get shifted out of it, because he's now 16th ranked, but he's going to be taking that ranking position from Benoit Saint-Denis here in fashion in Paris. Now, moving on to the main event, we have Nassourdine Imavov versus Caio Borralho. Now, this is definitely not going to be as one-sided of a prediction as the co-main event, because as you can see with the odds, these guys are swaying as a pick'em all over the shop, and I completely agree with that. This is a very, very tough fight to predict, and for many reasons, to be honest, because firstly, Nassourdine Imavov, he's fighting in Paris, he's on the home turf, Caio Borralho is coming in to try and spoil the parade, and Nassourdine Imavov, I will say, when it comes to his fights, he has fought the better opposition than Caio Borralho overall in his career, and he is the better boxer. He is the cleaner boxer overall at that boxing specific range. He's got good, clean striking. I mean, we saw against Israel Adesanya that clean overhand he got. He's just very good at timing his strikes, good under pressure on the feet as well. But when we look at Caio Borralho, he is the cleaner kickboxer, better in that bladed stance and better when it comes to just utilizing kicks in general, and he is fast as well. Now, Imavov, I do believe he is someone that is better when it comes to his strike defense, because we saw with Caio Borralho, he fought Jared Cannonier, and he got tagged up a fair bit. He got his cheeks split to bits, and Nassourdine Imavov in that boxing range can definitely get ahead in this fight. But a thing I want to point out in this matchup is Caio Borralho in that bladed stance as a kickboxer in southpaw. When it comes to that bladed stance, he is faster off the mark with the lead hand, and he's going to be able to get to Imavov quicker than Imavov is going to be able to get to him, especially if he's lunging in, where Imavov isn't going to be able to reach him when Caio Borralho is at that kickboxing range. So whichever range it is, if it's up close, it's Imavov. If it's at range, it's Borralho. That's what I'm really saying here to just simplify it. But I will say, when it comes to their grappling, Caio Borralho is just better. He is a better grappler overall. I think that's what's going to really shine through in this matchup, plain and simply, because Imavov, don't get me wrong, he actually showed some pretty good defensive awareness overall with his grappling against guys like Roman Dolidze and against Brendan Allen as well. But in that Brendan Allen fight, Nassourdine Imavov pretty much got controlled that entire first round by Allen, and Caio Borralho has out-grappled Brendan Allen in grappling. Caio Borralho is a very, very good grappler, very good transitionally. That is his base overall, and his fight IQ is just extremely good, as we know with any of those fighting nerds fighters. But I will say, Imavov at that boxing range, he has the ability to actually take Borralho out in this fight, and it's very close and it could happen, but is Borralho going to stay in that boxing range that entire time? Absolutely not, unless his brain falls out his ear. There's no way KO Borralho is going to be utilizing more clinch-based exchanges to then try and hunt a takedown, especially if Imavov is getting a bit more momentum when it comes to his boxing. I think that's when Borralho is really going to mix up his game, utilize nice leg kicks at range to really stop Imavov pressing forward with the penetration step, trying to get some powerful shots off like that overhand. I think Borralho is going to chop down the legs, utilize good body shots, and just utilize good kickboxing in general. I think the legs of Borralho are absolutely crucial in this matchup, but it's just going to be so close, honestly. I do believe it's going to be between the first and the second round. It's just going to be a matter of volume. I think it could just be a coin toss for volume, who could take that, and depending on what range they fight at. But I think between rounds 3 and 4, I think that's where it's going to be more swayed to Borralho, where I think he's going to utilize more of an offensive takedown game, really control Imavov on the ground when Imavov starts to slow down a bit more. And then I think in round 5, I think that's where Imavov is going to come out. I think he's going to really use a heavy-based boxing game. I think he's going to really pressure forward, really cut off that range of KO Borralho, and I think he's going to land some really nice shots. I think Imavov is going to land the best shot of this fight, the most impactful shot, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. And I think the Fighting Nerds are going to be spoiling this fight card for the Frenchmen. And I think both KO Borralho and Mauricio Ruffy are going to be taking the wins in this card. I just think the Fighting Nerds have it on lock there. Their fight IQ is just really, really there, whichever matchup they are in. KO Borralho hasn't lost in 17 fights. His momentum is there, and honestly, Imavov is not going to be an easy fight, but I think Borralho just has the overall tools as a mixed martial artist to just get this done. But if he lags behind and can't stay outside of that boxing range, I don't only think Imavov can beat him, I think Imavov can actually knock Borralho out. So that's where there is that take there for me, but I do believe KO Borralho, with the grappling he does have, especially eclipsing Imavov's, comparatively to Brendan Allen's performance against Imavov and against Borralho, yeah, I think Borralho is going to be able to find some success with the grappling here, and I think he's going to be able to take this win 48-47. Now, I really hope you enjoyed the predictions and breakdown video, and if you haven't already, definitely check out my video just here for more MMA-based content, and please like, comment, subscribe. It goes a long way for the channel, and I will catch you in the next one.